no, your chicken. Oh, I'm so sad.
Oh, my chicken is so good and it's going cold.
You know, we're recording right now.
I don't care. I want to eat my chicken.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast of the Scrub Club. That one white guy here, and I'm here with...
Demnex. How's it going, guys?
Sorry for the long time for uploading. It's been, I think, about a month, and it's hard for us to upload because it's hard for us to find the time to get together, and when we do get together, we
get crazy distracted.
Yeah.
That's basically it. We play Naruto and shit. Naruto's shit.
Well, I mean, it's not just that, but like...
It's Naruto.
Okay, it's Naruto. Yep, that's what it is. Anyways, we're going to be talking about, basically, it's like last podcast. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about all the upcoming games that's coming out. November, it's really big. Of course, every November is when most companies...
The Call of Duties. Who else comes out in November?
Binding of Isaac. The new Pokemon game. I believe Dragon Age as well. Which I probably won't play. But,
you never played the
never
first
played
Dragon. They're free, you know that, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, the first Dragon Age is supposed to be okay, but the second one's, I heard, wasn't as good.
Yeah.
So.
But you should play the first one, it's free.
Maybe, I'll think about it.
But yeah, neither of us are planning on actually getting a lot of the console things. We're mainly waiting for PC. Binding of Isaac, what's it called? Rebirth?
Rebirth, yep.
Binding of Isaac Rebirth is coming out in November. I haven't been really keeping track of it, but Matt, like the second I told him that it was on pre-order, We
already had this story?
Yeah, insta-buy. But yeah, he knows more about it than I do.
I mean, we're not really going to talk too much about it, just because the game comes out in a week or two, and we don't really know too much about it as well. So once it comes out, we can go more in depth to it, but we kind of can't go any further. So we might as well just go on to the next game, which is World of Warcraft. Obviously, you know, World of Warcraft. Everybody knows World of Warcraft. And the new Warlords of Draenor are coming out. So if you play World of Warcraft right now, you obviously know. If you used to play World of Warcraft and you just kind of want to stay in touch, the new...
Blizzard, they did like... what did they do? Not like a press conference or something, but they talked about Warlords of Draenor, and they're like, if there is an expansion to get a lot of our earlier players back, because, you know, the original fan base is older now.
Yeah.
They're like, to get these people back, this will be the expansion that does it. And when did we play? We played towards the end of Cataclysm.
You played towards the end of Cataclysm. I started playing back when...
Lich King, right?
Lich King. I was like the middle of Lich King. I played pretty much all through Cataclysm, and then...
Kind of dropped off.
Once Mists of Pandaria came out, it kind of killed it for me. Just because
I stopped when that actually came out, because I played a little bit of Cataclysm, and then it was both of us playing a little bit at the same time.
On my account, so he stole my account.
But I got level 80s.
He got one level 85.
You were really surprised about that, too. You're just like, you have level 85? I'm like, yeah.
Well, you know, you're always really busy, so, I mean, it takes time to get a character really, really high leveled, and he managed to do it, and I was impressed. I really was.
But the cinematic came out about a year ago, I think, or not, maybe like 9 months or something. And you didn't know about it, and I told you.
Well, no, I knew about it. It's just you told me that pre-order was coming out, or no, I think you told me the game was out. Yeah, last month you told me the game was out, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go buy it. And then it links.
Oh yeah, and then I was just like, oh wait, it was the pre-order. I had no idea. I thought it was. I thought it said out. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing shit.
Yeah, I was depressed the rest of the day, but yeah, the Warlords of Draenor, it looks like a good upcoming, what's the word called? Expansion, yeah. But I don't really know too much about it either, since, you know...
We haven't been keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I haven't really looked too much into, like, what they're changing and everything. It looks like they're changing a lot, though. I looked at what they were changing, and the page was like... Oh, God, it was like 4 hours
they're changing a lot of, like,
reading.
stuff with health related. I know they're giving everyone a free max level. I don't know why.
Level 90. It's only one, though.
Still.
And it's for the pre-order.
Oh, yeah, it is for the pre-order. But still, you know.
What can you do? I honestly, a lot of people, I heard that they thought that was stupid. Because you get a bunch of new people playing characters that they don't know at a really high level, so they have no idea how to use their characters. But I think that's a great idea. For me, it took me forever.
That's what they're aiming for. They're trying to bring back their older fan base. They like people who don't want to grind, people who have jobs, people who have like wives and kids.
Yeah, and for
Except
me,
your
it's just like leveling 85 to 90. It's just too
Time consuming.
not time consuming, but boring.
Yeah.
I just think it's really boring. I think the dungeons are really boring, and it doesn't really matter to me. So I guess we'll just move on to the next one, and the next one is I'm pretty pumped for it. It's the new Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and that comes out the 24th of November.
Yeah, in June, Tumblr just exploded.
Yeah, Tumblr.
It was stupid. Hoenn intensifies.
Yeah, it just nonstop for like 3 days, just constant Pokemon posts, which I thought that wasn't a big deal because, you know, there wasn't, it was just a release, you know, they announced it was coming out. But now that you go through it and, you know, you have all those confirmed things like
And like speculation videos and shit like that.
yeah, the Omega Groudon and the
Mega Kyogre. I think, is Rayquaza getting one too?
yep, Rayquaza's getting one.
And is Deoxys getting one?
No, Deoxys isn't getting one. If Deoxys got one, it would be broken. Because that means he would have 3 different... Unless it was like a 4th set.
A 4th transformation?
Yeah, pretty much. But I just don't know what it would be unless it was...
What they would do with
yeah, just pure upgrade in all stats.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of useless. There's a good chunk of Mega Evolutions coming out. I know Mega Steelix, Mega Camerupt, Mega Sharpedo. I want to say there's Mega Salamence and Mega Altaria, which were really hyped. But then you got Mega Slowbro and Mega Audino, which were like...
Is there going to be a...
shit on.
A Mega fucking Tyranitar?
There already is a Mega Tyranitar.
Oh, well shit.
Yeah, Omega
So
Ruby...
that's how much I play Pokemon.
Yeah, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I think just because of how far they're going with it, I want to say they've had it in the works for a long time. Like, obviously...
What was the most recent remake?
That was Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which was
Like
for the...
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And so everybody's been waiting for this, but they didn't... We weren't sure whether or not they were going to do it, but we had a strong hunch that they would because, you know, money, right?
Heart Gold. Oh yeah. Okay.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
And then it moves to okay.
Yeah, because that's 2nd gen remake, and then Ruby and Sapphire.
Ones.
But yeah, they went really hard on this one. I mean, it looks really, really awesome. So I'm pretty pumped about that. And of course, we might as well just move on since, you know, we can go deep into this, but it'll take a really long time. And
there's just stuff we don't know. Well, I don't know.
yeah, there's stuff that Demnex doesn't know that I do know. So the conversation will be really one-sided. So that's why I like going into the things that we both either do know or don't know, because then we won't really be left out. Even though there will be a part in this segment where I get left out really hard.
Sure, bitch.
That's because I didn't really play the game too much, or the DLC. I played the original game a lot. Anyways, we'll keep going. The next one we want to talk about is Evolve, which we talked about.
We both know about that, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it in the last podcast, and that comes out February 10th of 2015, so that's coming out in a couple months.
We haven't heard too much more release. I think they... Oh, I actually haven't keep track of it. I know there's probably going to be a 3rd monster. I just don't know what it would be.
Yeah, because they released, I want to say, a demo in... A multiplayer demo.
Yeah,
what,
I don't know if it was a beta, but I think it was a demo.
What was the convention? Was it PAX?
I'm pretty sure it was like PAX East or some shit.
Yeah. They did a thing on Twitch, and it allowed people to watch the actual multiplayer.
Rooster Teeth got to play it, and they liked it. They looked at it actually really objectively, and they thought it was good.
I mean, it looks like a really good game. It looks beautiful. Obviously, next gen.
I was really happy that the consoles could handle that graphic intensive game, and there weren't any frame drops. Like it looks like a beautiful game. It looks like what next gen should be.
Yeah. It looks really good, and I'm actually excited for it. If it comes to Steam, I might buy it.
It is coming to Steam. I think the pre-order for Steam is already out.
Okay. When it comes to like next gen, I'm not going to waste my money on another console because I have an Xbox 360. It works perfectly fine for me, and the only thing I really use it for is Twitch. So I have no real reason to get another system.
And I think the next gen games are actually they're all coming to PC anyway, which I'm worried about porting. A lot of the porting problems recently for next gen.
What do you mean?
Well, Dead Rising 3, when it got ported to PC,
Yeah.
some of the controls were like really fucked up.
Oh yeah,
The frames were locked at 30, fucking dumb. The porting for Rise, Son of Rome, same problem. Or not so much the controls, but a lot of like the frame and texture issues I heard about. The twins, who do they go? The twins, Paladin Boss and Knight Rider twin. They have it, and but yeah, it's definitely. There are definitely a lot of problems with porting nowadays. The Evil Within has the freaking letterboxes. How the fuck?
I mean, it's to be expected when an entirely new thing comes in, and they know how to do it, but it's hard to transfer it to.
But
one
you know what's really sad? Someone on the Steam website, or not the web, yeah, like the hub, they put a comment in on how to fix in like 10 steps. How to fix a lot of the frame issues, especially with the Evil Within. The Evil Within, it's a good game. Oh, we'll go in more depth with it later, but like in 5 steps, they fixed all the porting issues. I'm like, this shouldn't be a problem. Like people shouldn't have to do this when they buy the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about for these upcoming games like Evolve.
And we'll probably talk about more of the Evil Within later. I don't really know too much about it. I watched a little bit of gameplay. All I know is it looks scary as shit, and I hate those kind of games.
You're a bitch.
As we established in the last episode, I'm a giant bitch. Okay.
We got next coming out. We got Dragon Age?
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, that, again, I see a lot of commercials on the Twitch streams.
Mm-hmm.
They are using actual gameplay that has a little disclaimer, and the animations for it have always been really cool for Dragon Age. I'm just worried about what they're going to do with combat, because you don't know about it, but they fucked it up in the second game.
Yeah, I have absolutely no clue about it.
Yeah, but anyway, it looks good. The textures look great.
Yeah.
The textures look great.
Looks like
it doesn't look like it has any frame rate issues. It looks...
That we know.
It looks like...
That we know,
yeah. It looks like a Dragon Age game, what it should be. And if you haven't heard of it, Dragon Age Origins, the first game, is free on EA Origin. Ew. Like, the only reason I use that hub versus Steam is because freaking Dragon Age. And one other game, I don't even remember. Titanfall. I got that for free or something. No, The Sims. Sims 2. I got that for free.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I do appreciate that they give out free games. I do like that. It's just, they also have some porting issues.
Well, I mean, Steam, they don't give free games. They allow free to play at times. But they do have really nice deals on the games.
You can have the entire game, and then 90% of the time, you're not going to have a problem with the porting.
Like the Game of the Year edition for like Fallout was like $10.
It's $5 now. It's like $5.99, like constantly.
I think it was $10 a while ago, but that was a long time ago, and that was like a 75% off sale. So you got the game and all the DLC for. I'm thinking of New Vegas.
The newest one is $10. Fallout 3 is like $5.99 or some shit like that.
New Vegas, which amazing game. Not going to lie, probably the best in my opinion. But we're not going to worry about that now. But yeah, Steam does really nice with the deals, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we all do. That's why we love Steam.
Yeah, Steam's the best. Okay, and if you're wondering, that comes out on November 18th of this year. So. Yep. It's also not very far away.
They've been really secretive about it. Like, they haven't really said anything about what's in it.
The Dragon Age?
Yeah, Dragon Age. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, they've been really careful with it, which, you know...
Which is a good thing. I don't like when games give out, like, 30 teasers with this, and this.
Call of Duty's Advanced Warfare, they're doing that. Their Facebook page is plastered with freaking teasers.
I hate when people do that. But they just want to get people hyped up into the game, and I'm just like, well... Not only are you not hyping me up, but you're also taking away... But, I mean, the difference is Dragon Age is a story game, while Call of Duty is a multiplayer. Yeah. So, I mean, it's understandable.
Call of Duty is Call of Duty.
It's understandable that they do that, but when it comes to, like, the story games and they do that, I just don't like that, because it kind of ruins the game.
It takes from the story.
Yeah. Like, you know what's going on, and you have to, like, you go through it, and it's like, oh, I remember this from the trailer. The trailer.
Or, they didn't do this.
Yeah, spoilers. Like that. Yeah, that's going to be our final game for the upcoming games. Obviously, when these games come out, we will probably do another segment on them just to see...
what we've been seeing about it.
Yeah, seeing about it. We probably won't play too many. I mean, I'll probably play Binding of Isaac, World of Warcraft, Pokemon. Those three I most likely will play. When it comes out, I can tell you what's going on.
Review. I mean,
yeah, I know. I hate shitting on games when they actually are good. So I never want to say this game is bad just because of this, and this. Like Fallout 3, I'm like, this game sucks. And then what was it? Like 3 months later, I came to your house and you were playing.
Yeah,
you were
I was
playing
using VATS, and you're like, "What the fuck is VATS?"
Yep.
I'm like, "Did you not read the fucking manual?" And you're like, "Where's the fucking manual?"
What's a fucking manual? And then I played it, I'm like, I fucking love this game! And so...
Oh, my eye.
Yeah, so I tend to not down a game before I actually
Your objective.
Yeah, before
That's what you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to be. But yeah, good
but
stuff.
There are some games that I will always bash just because of how much they're changing it, like Call of Duty. Like, a lot of the war multiplayer games nowadays just...
Yeah. It's recycling.
Yeah, it's not as good as what it used to be.
We talked about that. I was comparing, what was it?
Battlefield with Call of Duty.
Well, not just that.
I think Tom Clancy was
the Tom Clancy games. I was looking for his name. I compared that to the new Call of Duty games that, like, they're recycling it, so, like, they have to make it their own for it to be good.
Mm-hmm. I honestly believe this. If they remade some of the older games, all they did was polish up the textures, fix a little of the bugs, and reintroduce it like World at War or Modern Warfare 2. Tons and tons of people will buy it, especially for like next gen.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that will make a ton of money, and it'll actually get people onto the good side of Call of Duty. Because like those were my two favorite games. I would definitely buy them both. Nowadays, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, it's just 10,000 people are playing it, and most of them are hackers. So I have no reason to play it anymore. Okay, enough of the Call of Duty banter. We always do this.
Yeah, we always just like, Call of Duty, Call of Duty.
And so, now we're going to switch over. This is mostly Demnex's part, because we're going to talk about Dark Souls again.
Did we talk about any Dark Souls in the last one?
Yeah, we talked about some Dark Souls. I think the first DLC was out, but since then...
Oh, yeah!
The latest 2 DLCs are out, so I'm going to let him take over, because I don't know too much about it. He played I think, did you beat the third one?
Yeah, I beat all of them.
Yeah, he's basically beat it multiple times. He
I think I have 400 hours logged.
I thought it was 600.
No, it's 400.
Yeah.
My friend, my Tumblr friend, he has fucking 1,200 hours on it. I'm like, what the fucking...
What the fucking fuck?
And he has 4,000 hours on Dark Souls 1. I'm like, who are you? I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, play Dark Souls.
I can tell. So, he'll get you started on... I'll chime in occasionally.
Well, what do you want to know about what recently happened with it?
I mean, obviously, the
DLCs, maybe?
The DLCs...
Because you played a lot of...
I played the original. I played
the main campaign.
The main campaign before any of the DLC was out.
You got every single fucking achievement. Talk about that shit.
Okay, I got every achievement in 2 days, or in 3 days. But I played it a lot, so it's not really that big of a deal. I want to say I played 50 hours?
Yeah.
I think I played it for 2 weeks straight. No, it was 1 week straight. I played 1 week straight, as much as I could. I got home from work, started playing it, or whatever. And I just played it, and then eventually I'm just like, alright, you know what, I'm just going to go for all the achievements, because gamer score is the best thing in the world.
Gamer score is the most important thing.
I thought Dark Souls, which we've already had this conversation, Dark Souls is an amazing game. It's a very challenging game. It's
punishing, but fair.
It's very punishing, but at the same time, it's basically when you die the first time, in the first couple levels, you're like, no, I lost 3,000 souls, and then you get to New Game Plus, and then you have 1,000,000 souls, and like, oh no, I lost 1,000,000 souls.
We talked about this. Everything after you, but when you're not on New Game, when you're on your first playthrough, and you lose a lot of souls that you need, and you need to grind, it becomes it actually sucks. It sucks at first, but then once you get to New Game and your second playthrough, it becomes an inconvenience.
Yeah, every time
you take that to real life.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome.
You die in New Game Plus, and you're just like, oh, that's an inconvenience.
It's a chore.
And so, it's a very nice, polished game. I do admit the multiplayer does have some problems with it.
There are some quirks with a lot of balancing.
Katanas. OP.
Katana OP. They're still fucking OP.
Even before the DLC came out, they've always been OP.
But yeah, it has quirks about it that From Software, the developers, they are fixing when they moved to Bloodborne. Vadi Video, he played the Bloodborne beta. He said he loved it, every minute of it.
I haven't watched any gameplay of it. I saw Vadi Video talk about it when it was released in the
alpha, maybe?
Well, when they introduced it.
Yeah.
Like he talked about.
Oh, yeah, he had the intro video.
Yeah.
I looked at the gameplay. It's for next gen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it strangely does not look next gen. Like, it has the same textures. I'm kind of worried about it.
It's not a completely different Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as Dark Souls 2.
It's actually not a part of the Souls universe.
Yeah, it's basically a spin-off. What was that game? Far Cry. Far Cry 3. And then they had that...
No, but like, what's bothered me... I don't care that it's not a part of the Souls universe. It's coming from Software after they got bought out by like Microsoft or something.
Oh yeah.
And from what I've seen, it's acceptable. Like I probably will get this for $60. It's just depending on the experience.
If it's a full length game, then yeah, it's probably. But I don't think it's going to be a full length game.
What do you mean full length? Like
I'm talking about the same time spent as Dark Souls 2. I think it's going to be shorter. So I don't think it's going to cost as much.
Well, I want to say for PC, maybe it might go for $49.99 because I know Dark Souls 2 when it came out on PC it was $59.99 right away, but then after like a couple weeks it dropped down $10.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Bloodborne, it's a lot like all the next gen stuff. We're looking at it really carefully. The beta, it looks good because you can play as the 4 different classes, which is what they did for the Dark Souls 2 beta.
Mm-hmm.
The combat, fluid, the background and active lighting, I really like that because there's like a moon and like it casts active shadows that like your character interacts with versus, like the light is so important because for Dark Souls 2, the lack of lighting and like the lack of like the requirement.
And you went on a tangent.
Yeah,
at that.
I was fucking mad about that.
Yeah, you saw that in like the beta, and then in comparison to
because 2 years ago,
what it was now.
Yeah, 2 years ago they did. I told you about this. They did a beta at PAX against the Mirror Knight, one of the, probably my favorite boss fights. He's a lot like the Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 1 bosses. He punishes you for making mistakes, but if you make a mistake, it's entirely your fault.
Same with what was that boss called? After the 3 portals you have to go through. Dark Lurker.
Dark Lurker, yeah.
Yeah.
That boss is probably, the most Dark Souls 1 boss in the game. Did you ever fight? Yeah, you fought the Dark Lurker.
Yeah.
And that's both of our favorite fights.
Yeah, I've beaten every boss in the original thing. I think I got up to like New Game +4. And to this day, I hate the chariot the most.
Yeah.
Because
if you're not a caster, you're that fight's annoying.
No, if you are a caster, that fight's the worst. Because when you're running to it, you don't have the shield you would as like a big tanky person.
Oh, you put your chime in your left hand? You're gross.
What?
You put your chime in your shield hand?
No, I put my chime in my right hand.
Then how do you not have a shield?
No, I'm saying the shields aren't as good because if you went strength build, you can get the Rebel's Great Shield.
Oh, the shield's for having those stats. Okay.
Yeah. And then you also take less stamina reduction if you get hit. But if you're using a caster, you can only take like 3 or 4 hits, and then there's 4 skeletons on you all at the same time. And so you get punished for being a caster much harder than you would being a physical attacker.
Yeah. What did I hate about that?
The graphics, how it...
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. I kind of forgot. I was just like, I don't want to get angry or worked up, but I can't let this go. The Dark Souls 2 beta, when it was at PAX or whatever convention it was, they had this amazing texture and like physics and like a graphic engine.
It looked beautiful.
Yeah, like when lightning struck the sky, it illuminated your freaking screen. You saw every single raindrop as it came down. Because the Mirror Knight fight, it's raining. You see every single raindrop as it hits the ground. Yeah. You see puddles forming and stuff. The puddles have reflections. That was cool. When they did the comparison to what it currently was, or what it currently is, it's gross. Like, and then I looked it up. They actually had to rework the entire texture system completely because they thought that current gen consoles and PCs couldn't handle it. I'm like, I have never heard the quote, PC can't handle it from fucking anyone.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, maybe... Well, I mean, a lot of people don't have really heavy gaming laptops. Mm-hmm. Like, I know your older PC...
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that thing would got shit on.
Yeah.
Like, it caught on fire from fucking playing League.
Yeah. My laptop was so good. My old laptop.
Yeah, the Toshiba.
You are mad because mine was actually good. It rarely ever overheated.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it was the porn. It was the porn.
It probably was how much porn you made, you piece of shit.
But yeah, I heard... But yeah, that's the Mirror Knight rant. And I'm just scared that they'll do the same thing for Bloodborne.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they don't. Like, the game looked so good, and then they downgraded it and now it's still a good game, but when it comes down to what it could have been, like when the game first came out, it was beautiful. But I want to know what it would have looked like if the texture stayed the same, like in Majula, when you look out on the sunset.
Yeah.
Like I want to know if that would have looked even better, because that would have been amazing.
So that's the first thing you see when you leave the starting area, the tutorial level. You see the fucking sun and you fucking praise it.
Yeah. Praise the sun.
But yeah.
DLC?
Yep, DLC. I was looking for the word DLC. I was just like, what's extra content?
Well, that's what we were originally going to talk about, and then we just got completely sidetracked.
But no,
like,
this was
supposed
our
to be like
valid,
a 5-minute.
It's our valid opinion on Dark Souls, though.
Yeah, but we already had one, though. This was supposed to be our 5-minute thing talking about the DLC of Dark Souls, not the original.
Dark Souls 2 DLC, the Crowns of the Kings. There's the Sucking King, Iron King, and Ivory King. Mm-hmm. On Steam, you can get the Season Pass and save $5 off of it. Well worth your fucking money. The best $25 I ever fucking spent.
Yeah.
Okay, not ever. I went to a really good strip club once.
You're fucking lying.
That was one time. But you didn't play a lot of it because you had it for console and you.
Well, I downloaded I didn't download. I got it from Redbox.
Yeah, so you didn't actually.
But this was a long time ago, before they even thought about releasing any of the DLC. Like, this was a long time ago. This is like 2 months after the game came out, and I think how long? It took like 6 months.
Oh yeah, it was a long ass time. It was like 6 months for the DLC to come out.
Yeah, it took a while, so I didn't even think about downloading because the game served its purpose in entertaining me for like a month, and then I threw it away.
You do so many other things. It's like once you
I mean I played it a lot at Half Asian One's house.
Yeah.
So there was no real reason for me to, besides getting the gamer score. That's the only reason I bought it from Redbox, was just to get the gamer score and put it on my account. Because the game is very, very easy once you get all the mechanics down and all that stuff. And so it wasn't really difficult for me.
It has nothing more to offer.
Yeah. At that point, I just had no reason to keep
that's
playing
perfectly fine. That's why people just like hit it and quit it. But the DLC is very worth it because. I'm not saying that you're missing out on this, because you played it a little bit on my computer.
Yeah.
They bring a lot of the Dark Souls 1 universe into the Dark Souls 2, and as in, like, not only just nostalgic gameplay, because they're not trying to just appeal to those people who played Dark Souls 1, and a lot of people were disappointed about Dark Souls 2, and, like, they didn't hate the game, they still played it, it's just that, like...
But it was much easier than the original, just because the difficulty of the bosses shifted more towards newer players, so it was still hard for new players, but those who are really good at the first game tried it, and it took them like maybe a minute to get on to like how they reacted and like the how the bosses fight.
Yeah.
And instead, a new player, it would take like 6, 7, 8 deaths before you fully like Ornstein in
the old Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, the old Dragon Slayer in Dark Souls 2. How the first time I played it, I had the hardest time playing it, but.
When I was doing it, I was just like,
yeah. And then Joe didn't have a problem, Half Asian One. He didn't have a problem doing the game at all because he played a lot of the Dark Souls when it was out.
Yeah. He played towards the end of Dark Souls 1, and then he played a lot of it. He just transferred over, and that's just what happens when you play Souls games.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to do the DLC as trying to appeal to just that, just the old players. They were trying to test the waters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're asking their collective fan base, because they have like this newer fan base who jumped on to the Dark Souls 2 hype, and then they have the middle people who played a little bit of Dark Souls 1 and then Dark Souls 2, and then you have your hardcore Dark Souls fans who played even Demon Souls too.
Yeah, Demon Souls,
which is apparently really fucking good, and I might buy that.
Played it. I played a little bit of the first Dark Souls. I've never been into Dark Souls too much. I have to admit, once you play Dark Souls 2, it does make you addicted. Like it makes you a fan. Addictive game. Like even if you're just thinking of trying it, go rent it.
Demon Souls is like $5 on eBay.
If you have a console, see if it's on Redbox still. I don't know if it still is. Or like what's those gaming websites where you can Gamefly.
We don't use Gamefly though, but still.
Yeah, I've never.
It's well worth your time. Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die that has the DLC. Every summer it goes for $5 on Steam.
Yeah, it's really cheap and it's really, really, really worth it.
But like what the new DLC brings to the table is a lot of people complain about the level design. It was very linear. The story was extremely linear. Mm-hmm. And they wanted what the Dark Souls 1 DLC, because the only Dark Souls 1 DLC was what the fuck is it actually called?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's like It's about Artorias, one of the four knights of Gwyn.
I didn't even know there was a DLC in the first Dark Souls.
It's the only one, and
Huh.
but apparently, like what that did, that revolutionized the first game, and they wanted to bring that to this game, but they had to do it to a whole nother level because a lot of people were really discontented with the second game.
And there might be another DLC, isn't there?
No, there won't.
Are you sure they said they're not making it? I thought they said we're not sure. They said that they never stated that that one DLC would be the last.
Well,
did
Vadi, when he was talking about in his third review, he said that they have not given any indicators that they are going to give us a third one. Like, they haven't said anything, and they have no reason to. Well, I mean, Vadi wants more out of the story because he likes the story.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird how they're leaving it at 3 when there's 4 boss souls. You have the Iron King. You have
There's
the Lost Sinner. I'm talking about the bosses.
Boss souls?
Iron King, the Lost Sinner. There's 4
Iron
of them.
King, Sinner, Rotten, and the Pale Drake.
Yeah. So, and there's 4 of them, but yet they're only coming out with 3 DLC, and they're each
you think
basing the DLC off only those 3.
Gwyn. Gwyn's another king. There's 4 kings. Gwyn's
Was it Gwyn?
Gwyn. Vendrick. Vendrick, Sunken, Iron, and Ivory. 4 kings. So they have 4 kings.
Okay, so the entire thing was based. Okay, I get it a little more.
Yeah. Anyway, what it brings to Dark Souls 2 is the level design is really fucking good. The first DLC is Crown of the Old Sunken King.
Sunken King, yeah.
And the story is amazing. It's about a dragon that these people worshipped, and it harbored a poison in its heart that destroyed the city. And that's really all you can say about it, because after that, it has a lot of the Dark Souls 2 story.
And if we go too in depth with it, we might spoil.
We can
something.
talk about Dark Souls, the entire story. It'll take hours to explain the story.
And I don't really want to have to edit a podcast that's 6 hours long, so
but yeah,
we'll just keep each of the DLC short.
The bosses in the first one, there was you do end up fighting the dragon. That's pretty obvious. Because that's the first thing you see. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to have to fight this thing. Because that's always really apparent in the Dark Souls game. Like, oh shit.
But I mean, it doesn't really take away from the feel. I actually like that.
Yeah.
Like knowing the last boss. Because you're just like, I know this boss, and I actually want to fight this boss.
It's
because
like,
it looks so cool.
How is it going to lead up to fighting that boss? So, you have a dragon fight. You have a multiplayer-based fight. It has that feel to it. It's kind of weird.
The 3 guys.
Yeah, the three thieves.
3 thieves, yeah. The grave robbers.
Yeah, 3 grave robbers, that's what they call them. And then you have... Oh, shoot, how should I explain it?
The queen. Obviously, in each DLC, there's a queen who harbors a crown.
There's a queen who brings down her king. That's what it is. Because they explain that in the item description right away.
Okay.
So, but that's what all the DLCs are about, because they're all crowns of the ex-king.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, what is their queen doing? So that's what it's hinting at. The level design, really good. The enemies are kind of boring. They're all have the same model. They just use different weapons.
Yeah.
I think there's like there's 5 different types of enemies, 5 or 6. Overall, very good. I'd spend $10 on that. The second one, Crown of the Iron King. Level design was okay. It seems like you're just going building to building, which kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
Enemies were really boring. There was only like 2 of them I liked.
Yeah, they were pretty subpar.
Yeah.
But the bosses were hard.
Yeah, that's the one I ran you to every single boss and had you fight him.
Not the last one, because screw that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fight that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those bosses.
What was your experience? Yeah, what was your experience with the second DLC?
I didn't really get to play. All I did was the bosses, so I didn't actually get to go through the actual game or the DLC gameplay and get really caught into it. But I tried the bosses, and they were so difficult. Oh my god! I don't want to spoil anything, but trust me, if you are new to Dark Souls and you have the DLC, play like 2 times through the game first, and then start a new character, and then go through the game on New Game. Or on the original game, before you do New Game Plus for the DLC.
Yeah.
Because it will be hard. I know you had a lot of trouble with New Game Plus on your first try.
Yeah, because I was on New Game Plus when I did the DLC, so I did 50% less damage, and everyone did 50% more to me. They were one-shotting me. That's how much damage they were doing.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So,
what 2? There was,
Sunken King, Iron King.
No, I mean, the 3 bosses in there. I mean, how were they? The last boss, fuck that boss!
That boss was ridiculous.
And then you fought
I fought the first two
the
bosses.
demon. He was a motherfucker.
Oh, the knight and the demon. Oh, God.
Yeah.
They were difficult, but at the same
The other
time,
night,
it makes you work for it.
He was fun as nuts, though. I like the night fight.
Yeah, it makes you work for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
And yeah, that's what they were kind of aiming for, maybe. It sacrificed level design for the sake of making you work, but the thing is, like, even though you are working, they punished you for working.
Yeah. Alright, we'll go to the last DLC, because...
That makes that $30 worth it. That makes that...
I have absolutely zero knowledge of this DLC. I have not seen...
Crown of the Ivory King.
I think I've seen a little bit of it, but when it comes down to it, I haven't fought a boss. I haven't played any part to it. So Demnex is going to be the one that's going to be talking.
I'll try to
like
make
he
it
normally
quick.
has, but I mean he'll go through.
I'll try to make it quick. It took the best of both of the previous two DLCs. It had fucking amazing level design, and the boss fights. Probably, like, the term boss fight, Ivory King has the best final boss fight I've ever fucking played. Ever. The level design takes place in snow, ivory meaning white, so snow's around. The level design, it's not too linear. It could have been more vertical and had more paths, but your first run through, when you go through, it's very nice. It's like, oh, I can't go on this path. You have to remember where you need to go, and you can't currently go. That's really nice. The enemies... That's the one thing that bothered me with DC. They're extremely boring. There's only like 4 different types, and they're just recycles. I think there's only one completely new enemy. No, sorry, 2. 2 completely new enemies.
Yeah.
So when you run through, they give you every single tool to succeed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, so that's what I like about the Souls universe, and that's what I liked about Dark Souls 2. They give you the tools to succeed. So if you fuck up, it's your fault.
It's your fault, yeah.
And that's what they did in the third DLC. The first boss fight is fucking amazing because if you're like most people, you ended up dying to it right away.
Yeah.
Cause not gonna spoil it, but you're gonna die if you make the wrong decision. Mm-hmm. The second boss fight, that's the one quell with it because like it's a chore getting to it.
Yeah. Not only do you have to get to it, but if you die, you have to go all the way back over and over again.
Yeah. So that one, that was my one gripe with it.
Which is, I mean, that's not the only boss in the game that happens. I mean, I think what other.
They had to, like, run for fucking ever.
Yeah.
The Saldora map.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that has a lot of bonfires in there. If you do a completely 100% clear run, the Saldora is pretty hard.
Yep.
But anyway, the final boss fight is fucking amazing because you jump into this hole, and there's this really fucking amazing, like, atmosphere change.
Yeah.
And
okay, I have seen the final boss.
Yeah, the final boss fight. It was fucking amazing. It felt like, because you have these what are they called? You have these knights with you, and there's summons there for you that you can bring with you.
Yeah, so they changed it so where it's not just you
versus
against a boss, or you with
because the other two bosses were 1v1.
Yeah,
and there were no summons around.
But this time it's
you are allowed to bring summons with you, and like,
there's 4 NPCs in the game without you needing to summon that you can actually go in with.
But the thing is, you have to explore those paths that you didn't go through. So
in order to unlock them.
Yeah. So if you didn't.
So it actually.
If you didn't go through the map the second time and find them, then you got punished for it.
Yeah.
But then again, you had every tool
not exploring.
You had every tool to figure out that, oh my god, these guys helped me.
Yeah.
So then when you go down, at first you only have one. You only have one with you, and you're like, oh, this guy helps me. And then when you go back through, you can have up to 4, and it is literally like a goddamn like battle because there's tons of mobs in there, and you can have, including yourself, 2 summons. That's 3 people, and your 4 knights. That's 7 versus an army. That's fucking awesome. I like that. It felt like
Sparta.
Yeah, Sparta. It felt like Thermopylae. That's what it felt like. 300. And the soundtrack. I did talk about the soundtrack. The soundtracks are really fucking good for the DLCs. The first 2 were okay, but the third one, the final boss fight, when he fucking comes out. Like, that was the most, like, dramatically presented boss I've ever fucking seen. Because these pillars of fire comes out, and you think, like, oh god, is he gonna attack me? And you watch him. He doesn't attack you for, like, 30 seconds. He just, like, stares at your ass.
He walks out, and it makes you wait in suspense. It's like, what is this guy gonna do to me?
You're like, this guy's a motherfucking
he's such
badass.
a badass. What is he gonna do to me?
He walks out, and he's like, you motherfuckers are too loud. And he ass whoops you. The boss himself, he's cool looking, but the reason I made it so fun is I brought 2 other players with me, and so we went down there, and I had my 4 knights, and they're doing fucking work. That's why the fight was so good, because for the first time in the Dark Souls universe, I didn't feel alone, and that
Yeah.
felt cool because they did it really good. Because they could have fucked that up in a lot of ways, but the way they did it was
Yeah,
perfect.
it's hard to pull stuff like that off, especially in a game where it's all by yourself.
Because they're not like mindless fucking teammates that just like shoot at walls and shit.
Yeah, and,
like,
and a lot of the NPCs are really bad. Like, they're only there just to tank hits.
Yeah, tank hits.
But,
These ones do fucking work. That's
Yeah.
what I love, and that's what they did right, and I love it.
All right, so we'll skip past. We were gonna do stuff about one of our old jobs, but I think we're gonna skip past that because
No one wants to hear us bitch after being so happy.
Yeah, I mean, that segment was probably 20 minutes alone. We're just going to go on to the next game instead. We talked about it earlier, and that's The Evil Within.
So yeah, now we're going to The Evil Within. What did we talk about earlier? Some porting issues.
Yeah,
But the thing is, I've been watching a lot of streamers play it, or a lot of stuff on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers are playing it. Markiplier's playing it, PD's playing it, Nova's playing it. It's a good game.
If you don't really know what it is, basically think of it as Resident Evil style games. It's a
very
lot
Resident
gory.
Evil-esque.
Yeah,
It's in your face, it's gritty, but then there's a lot of like psychological shit in it.
Yep.
That like, it's like Dead Space meets fucking Resident Evil. That's what it fucking is!
I haven't watched too much about it. I never really thought of playing it again because I'm a giant bitch and I don't like scary games.
You're a bitch.
Which I'm fine with that. But I know it looks like a good game. I'm not gonna play it, but it looks really timeless. Like it's always going to have a relevance in
Like
the
people are
gaming
gonna
world.
reference it.
Yeah,
Like Resident Evil 4. People still fucking
Yeah.
reference Resident Evil 4.
because it was such a memorable game.
And I mean, it's because one of the designers for Resident Evil 4 fucking made this game. That's why.
it's probably why then.
That's why it's so good. And like, it's not just him. Obviously, the developers
Yeah.
do a lot of good stuff with it.
It's not
like-
it's not mindless killing. There's puzzles. There's
Like, aside from the little technical quirks with it that can easily be fixed, there are really no problems with it. I mean, there's some camera issues, but that's
it's a game. Like
Yeah.
there's always going to be problems with it. I agree. They probably could have fixed that in beta, but there's only so much that you
the
can
atmosphere
get in time.
is really good. Everything else about the game makes up for its quirks.
Yeah.
And the quirks don't make the game unplayable. That's what's really good about it. It's probably the only new next-gen game that's probably worth the money, at least right now.
Well, which is going to bring me to the next game, which is Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Yeah, you had no idea that was out. I told you that.
I thought it was still. I thought it was coming out in
You
November.
thought the pre-order was out, right? And
I knew the pre-order was out, but I thought it was coming out in November, which
Yeah.
every game always comes out in November. But it's really cool because it's like it's hard to explain. Because Borderlands 2 was a really fun game. I can't deny it.
We have it for $5. We talked about that.
Yeah, we got it for really cheap because it was on sale because of the
The pre-sequel.
pre-sequel pre-order. So they decided, hey, since this is out, we might as well put these at a lower price, and then obviously they'll make money for it. Because if it doesn't, then people will just say, hey, I'm gonna buy Borderlands. No, like they have to spark something in order for somebody to buy it and then play it. And so it looks like a real. I don't even need to say it looks like a really good game.
It's Borderlands.
It's Borderlands. Yeah,
it looked good.
it's going to be a good game because 2K always does really good.
Yeah.
With was it 2K who made this Borderlands? I thought they got went out of
Oh shoot. Hoof.
Gearbox.
Gearbox. It is Gearbox.
Gearbox.
I don't think 2K did this one.
Yeah, Gearbox.
They're always really good about their games.
Yeah.
They're like 2K. 2K has some hit or misses, but Gearbox is usually really good.
So we don't know too much about it. Again, once people make some videos about it, we'll watch it. We'll see obviously their thoughts, but we'll also come to our own conclusions because there's always going to be something wrong with a
Where
game.
we can like objectify it.
Yeah. There's
And
always going to be something wrong with it.
From what I
They're
heard
gonna
on
embrace it.
Tumblr, from my Tumblr buddies, she's a huge Borderlands fan, so she's kind of biased. But she says, like, from what she's played, it's fucking awesome. So,
Well, I mean-
but then, like, you don't hear anything wrong with it. That's the thing. Like, I'm hearing all these good things, and like, I'm looking at a bunch of reviews online. People are just like, it's possibly worth the money from what I've seen.
So, like I said, there's only so much we can talk about without the information that we actually have. We might as well just move on to our next topic. And obviously, every single series will probably have a league rant.
Rant
Yeah,
or
a league rant.
league rant or fangirl.
Fangirl. Because, I mean, for us, League of Legends is the game that we will always play, or we've played for a very long time. We know this, and this, And I can always point out, like, back when the game wasn't, I want to say it was back in, like, late Season 2, I was able to pick out, problems that people did, while Jordan had no idea.
I have no
Because he was
idea
still
what I'm
getting,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was still getting used to the game. And that was before Joey even started playing.
Yeah.
Which,
He played at the beginning of Season 3.
yeah. I played late Season 1. So I obviously
And I played
had-
like mid to late Season 2.
Mhm.
But yeah, what were you... last week, or like 2 weeks ago, was Worlds. It was
last week.
last week? Okay.
Yeah.
It was, like a lot of it was disappointing. Like, it was fun, but it just... Maybe it's because it was in Korea, it just didn't feel like it had any relevance.
Yeah. Which normally I'm a big fan of watching the LCS and Worlds and all that stuff, but this year it had no shine to me at all. I'm just like,
It's just
Worlds
a bunch
is on.
of... Honestly, like, even... It's like, I'm Asian, and I'm like, okay, these are just a bunch of fucking Asians playing for the fucking... That's what it was. It was fucking... It'll always be... Until the American and the EU players can, like, evolve,
Yeah. And it's really hard
it'll always be Koreans versus Chinese.
Yeah, it's really hard for people in the US to, unless they play firsthand with them, because the strats that Koreans use are generally adopted into US and EU.
But
unless,
a season later.
Yeah.
They're developing new shit constantly.
So unless they get a firsthand while it's happening, they will always be on the losing end of that streak.
Yeah.
And that's
and
happened.
a lot of you guys know that. It's just like, it's really... You can see it, like, you just know. You know in your gut. You're just like, okay, this is...
It's
like even when they were doing, like, the road to Worlds with the Cloud9 and TSM.
Yeah.
It's like, those are cool. Like, those are fun videos. It was great background noise. I actually watched the Road to World series. They're like 20 minutes each. And they're great videos, but, like, in the back of your head, there's always that
little voice saying, well, I mean, there's no real point to this.
Yeah, there's no relevance.
they're going to
Like
lose.
these fuckers don't matter. And, like, for everyone, that's always in the back of their heads. I mean, the people who keep track of the LCS. It actually bummed me out that the opening ceremony for Worlds, it was a fucking sellout. It was just an Imagine Dragon concert.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And, like, they're a good band. I love them. But just, like, they tried to make it too many things. So they had, you didn't actually watch it.
I was working.
They had, like, traditional Korean music. And I was like, Imagine Dragons and the dubstep. I'm like, what the fuck? But, it's like, just pick something.
But the LCS was really good. I really enjoyed watching
The beginning of the LCS was fun.
Because I'm a huge TSM fanboy. I've been watching TSM since Season 1. So, obviously, I'm a giant fan of TSM. Jordan really likes TSM. I don't know where he stands now. I don't know if you're
TSM's fine.
Cloud9.
I prefer TSM over Cloud9.
Okay. But me, I'm just a hardcore TSM fan. So once Odd One,
I don't hate other teams.
Yeah, once Odd One and Special left, I'm like, all right, well, the season's already over for them. So I stopped watching completely, and then I saw that apparently TSM came back just to win the LCS, and I'm like, what? It blew my mind. So I went through and I watched the games. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
And then we watched the. You watched.
I watched the
Spring
final.
Split? No, we watched. Yeah, they won the Spring Split, right? And then we were watching the Summer Split together.
Yeah, no,
Was
I
it
don't
that?
think so. I don't think. I thought it carried together.
Well, the Spring Split and the Summer Split are two technically different, series.
Yeah, I think they lost the spring split just barely, and then they won the summer split, didn't they? Because I think Cloud9
yeah. It was like that. Sorry, other way around.
Yeah. So it got me really hyped, so I'm like, alright, well, I'll watch
Perhaps
Worlds.
there's, yeah.
Well, the problem with that is Worlds was in Korea, so when they played it, the matches, it was at like 1 in the morning.
It was worse than that. It was like 2 or 3.
And so no one could watch it unless they stayed up to 2 and 3 in the morning, and then they watched, 5-6 hours, and by that time,
You had to fucking get up.
2 or 3 hours, you
Like
wake up for work or school or stuff like that, and we have to watch the rebroadcast, but everybody already knows what happens because they always say.
And the rebroadcast,
this happened.
they lack that, the sense of urgency because it's like, oh, this has already happened.
Like the competitive league scene when it comes down to professional players, I love it. Players are really awesome. The casters are amazing. I really enjoy listening to the casters.
They're cool.
What happens in the game, it's really nice. It's very easy to catch on. And that's why I like League so much. But when it comes down to the games themselves, they just weren't there. They were very lackluster. And it really disappointed me. But I mean, that's just one season. So hopefully next season, with all the new changes coming in.
Yeah, that's gonna be some fucked up shit.
Oh.
I have no idea what's gonna go on.
I mean, it's gonna be hard. Like, we thought the trinket or the jungle
trinket
item
thing was shit. Was
and
crazy.
the jungle items were crazy.
Trinkets, jungle items. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and now they're completely getting rid of those, and
Yeah.
they're changing the entire jungle, and it's just like, oh my god, what is going on here? And then
They're killing sieging. I fucking love it. They're making it harder to do, but they're making it more rewarding when you do it.
yeah,
I fucking love that. Because the current LCS, it was all about sieging, except you're the fucking Koreans, where you fucking, like, getting 15-minute games, because you just fucking molest people.
molest people.
Like, that's what they do. They fucking molest other teams, because they're fucked up. They're stupid. They're stupid good, and I hate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same in most games, like StarCraft and
Yeah.
that stuff. Like, you think of StarCraft and, well, you think Korea. You think League of Legends. When it comes down to it, you think NA, but when it comes to the Worlds, you think of Korea.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would talk about the changes, but there's so many that it's impossible.
You're
for
better
us to
off
do
just
it.
going to the patch notes and, like, pissing your pants.
Yeah, I mean, we might do a
Once
League
it actually
podcast.
rolls around, we'll... Actually, no, when it rolls around, we will analyze it.
Yeah.
Because we have to. We're League players.
Yeah.
Half of our fucking audience is League players.
And so that's actually going to do it for the podcast. There's something that I've wanted to say the first time, but I never got to it. But if anybody wants us to actually go in depth and make another podcast about a single thing that we talk about, we could probably do that. So,
yeah,
like,
that's not a
let's
deal.
say,
We can do it live.
yeah, we could probably,
That'd be
like,
fun
let's
as nuts.
say we wanted to talk about Borderlands 2 after we played it. We can do like TV shows or animes. We can just make a single podcast where it's just me or just Jordan. You know, I'll do TV shows, he does animes, and he'll talk about all the animes, why he likes them, what to expect, and why you should watch it. Same goes for me. And we can always do that. Like, we don't want to just have every podcast just doing a basis of each thing. We would actually like to go in depth, but we don't want to...
We don't have the time.
Yeah, we don't have the time to go in depth of every single little thing that we talk about. If you do want us to do a single thing, we can easily do that. Like a small 20, 30-minute podcast for that. Anyways, obviously, we're going to end it here. We want to make sure and go over our hopes for the channels again. Because we can't stress this enough that I would love to do this as a job. This has been my dream job for a long time. Wake up, make some videos,
Make people laugh, make people smile, make people think.
Yeah, just allow them to have a better day. And just say, I'm having a really shitty day. Oh, hey, they made a new video, and it just makes them feel a little bit better. I would love to do that as a job. Jordan would like to do this as a hobby because, well, his real job is going to be based on...
I'm gonna do this for fucking, like, actual companies.
Yeah.
On a bigger scale. Same thing, but bigger scale.
And so he'll make a lot more money than I will, which is fine, because I want to do this. I want to be able to play video games for you guys and talk about what's going on, and just small little things, which I think is...
And Paladin Boss, Knight Rider Twin, they might get on it. They don't know what they want to do. They're currently going to school. They could join you. There's so much we could do with this channel.
Yeah.
And
we have more members, but they don't really know what to do because we've obviously had practice.
yeah, we've had experience. I've had like 3 years in live radio, like live on the air radio. I don't know if that intimidates them, but you know, we as a group, there's so much we could do, and we want to hear what you guys want. And
obviously, like when it comes for games and stuff, I especially will have to learn how to edit them. I know Jordan knows how to edit them better than I do, so I'll make him spend 8 hours in my basement editing them. I need to learn how to do that, which is fine by me. I don't have a problem learning stuff like that, and I would love to do this. Of course, we just wanted to recap that because we'll probably do that almost every episode.
Because you guys make this channel go.
Yeah, every single person who watches this is
every single
helping
like,
us.
every single favorite, that puts smiles on our faces.
Yeah, a subscription, anything. And it makes us feel better as well because it'll motivate us to do more videos. I just wanted to say thank you for all those people who watch these videos. It makes me feel a lot better.
Thank you. I suck your dick.
I'm going to cut that out too.
No!
Alright, fine, I won't cut that out.
But yeah, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We really do appreciate it. And so if you like this, go ahead to hit the subscribe button, click the like button.
Share, subscribe,
comment.
follow, whatever's going on.
Yeah, Tumblr it.
Tumblr
I
it.
don't know. Alright, thank you guys so much. Scrub Club is